Welcome, welcome, my awesome friends. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to this SUNO Bootcamp. We're going to be taking a look at SUNO and all the awesome things it can do for us. And right now, you're actually listening to something that we did in SUNO a while back. But let's jump straight into the tool because I want to show you what exactly you folks need to be doing if you are really keen on jumping into SUNO. You might want to follow along with me as I go through every step. It's going to be very quick, I promise you. I'm not going to waste your time. So jump straight into suno.com. When you get to suno.com, you want to click on sign up and you just want to follow through with any of your accounts: Apple, Discord, Facebook, Microsoft, Google. Just put in all the information and it will get you set up with a free account. That's right, it's totally free. So the free account, when you get into the free account, it's going to look something like this, all right? But one of the first things I want to do before we go any further is set up a workspace because you want to get everything organized. So when you jump into your suno.com account on first login, you'll have the opportunity to add a workspace. So this workspace that I've got here, I've used it for the previous session, but I want to create a new workspace. So you see up here where my mouse is, over here, I'm going to click on new workspace and I'm going to call this SUNO 101 Bootcamp, just so that we've got a dedicated space to work with. Okay, so it says no songs match your current filters, and that's okay. I'm going to show you how to do everything from scratch. So I'm going to take away anything that might have been in here from a previous session. I'm going to show you how it works. But before we do that, we got to talk about SUNO 101. Okay, I have some topics I want to talk about here on the screen. And the very first topic is getting started with SUNO. Let's blow that up a little bit bigger so that you can see what I'm talking about. So this is an introduction. Okay, what is SUNO? Think about SUNO as your genie in the bottle song creator. All you do is ask it nicely and it'll give you what you're looking for, right? I've shown you how to set up the account. We're going to walk through the interface shortly, and I'm going to talk about prompts. Prompts are just lines of text or statements that you put into the tool to get what you want. Think about it like talking to the genie. You got free plans in SUNO, which are a bit restricted. You cannot use what you get commercially, but then you have pro plans, and in the pro plans, you can use what you get YouTube and other places. So if you're really in for it, you really want to get into it and you want to commercialize what you're doing in SUNO, the best thing to do is to get a pro account. Okay, going over to module 2, writing effective prompts. I'm going to show you how to craft lyrics, how to use mood. I'm also going to show you my free 50 prompts for beginners. And by the time we get done with module 2, I think you would have learned enough to be considerably creative. Now going into module 3, there's a lot more that I have for you, but if you only have like 10-15 minutes, just stick around and we're going to cover module 1 and 2. Okay, so jumping straight into SUNO, like the free version. This is the free version, and the way you use SUNO as a beginner is to just ask for whatever you want as simply as possible. There are two ways you can do this. You can either type in your own lyrics, or you could ask SUNO to do it for you. What I would advocate, just as a human, because I want you to be the best SUNO user that you can be, even if you don't have musical training, what you do want to do at first is try your best to write. It might even be a very crummy sounding song, but I would rather you wrote a crummy song on your own than for you to begin using the automated tool. So how do you write a crummy song? Just right here, like this. I'm going to show you. let's go ahead and stop the music for a second. So, a very basic song could be the weather. I'll just do it in all caps. The weather is funny. It gives me a run for my money. I never have a brawly. I may as well drive a trolley. It's a ridiculous song. It's dumb. But it's not about the lyrics. It's about what you want to say. So if I'm mad about the weather, which it was kind of crazy today, the weather was crazy. It drove me out of the pool. This is a true story. This happened today. It drove me out of the pool. I was just chilling, and all of a sudden, it started mudslinging. And that's it. That's my dumb song. Now watch the power of repetition. I'm going to take these last two lines and I'm going to make this my chorus. And boom, boom. And again for verse 2, I'm just going to go over here and just copy a couple of lines. Because I want to show you that simple songs are powerful. You don't have to overdo it by complicating the lyrics. People forget the lyrics, and you want to make it memorable. Repetition. I could write the entire song with just 2 sentences, but it's all in how you prompt the tool. Okay? So this is my rather funny song, right? We're coming in for the very first time. You could even just put in, maybe it's a rhyme that you made long ago, or just something you create on the fly like this, right? The next thing you want to do is to think about the style. So this is where you need to think about styles you like. What styles do you like? I like a lot of jazz. I like jazz because it gives me freedom of expression. Now, at first, I loved to listen to jazz, but as time went on, I realized I actually like to create jazz tunes. So I'm going to choose jazz as my default. But what kind of jazz do I like? What kind of funk, rock, pop? What kind of classical do you like? Do you like just string ensembles? Do you like some pianos? Do you like some violins added to the mix? Do you like some trumpets? You got to just tell the tool in plain English. So I'll just say jazz. I love the 1930s, right? Count, Duke, and all those guys. So I'm just going to say jazz 1930s, but I'm going to go a step further. What kind of voice do you want? So let's scroll down. We don't really have that luxury in this free version, but in the pro version, you can actually select if it's male or female. So I'm just going to say male, deep, baritone, crooner, charmer, like tone. And I think I've got enough. I've got what I need. So I'm going to title the song Weather Bother. You see what I did? Just 3 things for you as a newbie. Come up with ridiculous lyrics. Come up with the style. Make it simple. Right? You could even just put jazz. You may not put the error, but the risk there is it could give you something that you are not looking for in the 60s or 70s. Right? Or even 90s. You may not like that. And then the title. The next thing you're going to do, my friends, is you are going to click right here on the create button. The create button, okay? I'm going to make myself a little bit smaller so that you can see what exactly is going on. And here we click create. Boom. When you hit create, this is where the magic begins, because in the blink of an eye, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. The moment you see an image, you see this right here? The moment you see an image over here, that tells you Suno has started cooking. It started cooking the dish. So I'm going to click on the first one because what Suno does is it doesn't wait till it's done with the entire song. It starts rendering and it delivers. It lets you begin listening to what it's doing, to its magic. So let's listen to this first one while it cooks. Here we go.
The weather is funny, it gives me a run for my money. I never have a brolly, I may as well drive a trolley. The weather was crazy, it drove me out of the pool. I was just chilling when all of a sudden it started mudslinging. When all of a sudden it started mudslinging. When all of a sudden it started mudslinging. It gives me a run for my money, I never have a brolly. It gives me a run for my money, I never have a brolly.
Boom, there's your first song in the blink of an eye. Let's listen, because anytime you prompt in Suno, it gives you two versions by default. So here's a second version, same lyrics, but just a different take, just in case you didn't like the first one. This is it.
The weather is funny,
This is the one.
it gives me a run for my money. I never have a brolly, I may as well drive a trolley. The weather was crazy, it drove me out of the pool. I was just chilling when all of a sudden it started mudslinging. When all of a sudden it started mudslinging. When all of a sudden it started mudslinging. It gives me a run for my money, I never have a brolly.
Want to give a shout out to one of our subscribers, Faizo. Thank you for joining.
I never have a brolly.
Yeah.
It gives me a run for my money.
So, my friends, you have seen that it's very easy for you to get into Suno, and even if you don't have that much of a lyric writing experience, you very well can get some very good output. Now, let's say I took all of this away, and I wanted to come in here on auto mode, and I wanted to describe my lyrics. I am fed up of this stinking weather, always miserable and overcast. All right, and just hit, what do I do? Auto and full song. Let's take that again. The weather is miserable. Full song. Let's put the prompt in. Let's write the lyrics. You can tell I do not use this function very much because I'm a stickler for writing my own lyrics. But anyway, you would select one of these. Let's say you selected this one and still the same style. and you hit create. And in the blink of an eye, you have another two options. Not written by you, but if you have a pro account, you own the rights to make this commercial. But because this is my free account, I cannot use these to make any money. I cannot use these commercially. So please bear this in mind. If you are a newbie to SUNO, there are limits with the account. Okay, so let's listen.
The clouds wear gray like an old worn coat. Rain taps the glass like it's writing a note. Puddles spread wide like they're claiming the ground. Silence screams loud, no joy to be found. Oh, the storm, it owns the sky. No sun to chase, no reason why. The wind it howls, the trees they cry. Oh, the storm, it owns the sky. Street lights flicker like they're losing hope. The world feels small, tied up with a rope. My shadow's gone, it ran from the gloom.
All right, so you get the idea. It can be very entertaining to see what it comes up with, but I generally, honestly do not use this functionality because I really believe in keeping as much human in the loop. But if you are a newbie and you wanted to try out writing the lyrics, again, all you do is you could do it by line or you could do it by song. So I've never really done this by line, but you can go in there and play with it and see what results it gives you. It's quite intuitive. Now, I wanted to show you there is a difference between using the lyric writing ability versus the style, the ability to prompt style. And I have a treat for you because I'm going to show you how you can prompt the styles. So let me show you a very quick and easy way on my website, philc.net. I'm going to put it in the chat just so that you've got access to it. So it's Phil with two L's, c.net. Okay. And then when you go to philc.net, you'll be able to grab some of my free prompts. I have 50 free prompts. So here we go. Let's put this in. And all you need to do is click on the 50 AI prompts for newbies. And there you have it. So with the same lyrics, let's say you wanted a rock alternative, maybe something punk rock. So let's take this. We're just going to take the punk rock prompt. And this is going to enable us go into the styles. Same lyrics that were generated for us, but just the difference of a prompt. Let's hit create. You are going to hear a totally different feel of song. So let's give it a few seconds. And here is the first punk rock version of the same lyrics. Now, I know punk rock or rock in general is not everyone's cup of tea, so I'm not going to torture you any further. One of my recent releases was rock. I think I had 5 or 6 songs on one rock album, just generated from here, taking it outside of here, adding some vocals, keyboards, guitars. It could be quite fun to have this as your partner in creating music. But let's go down here and do an R&B slow jam. Same lyrics, just delete the style and plop in a new style and hit create. And it's going to create a totally different sounding song. See that? Now, let's check it out.
writing a note. Puddles spread wide, like they're claiming the ground. Silence screams loud, no joy to be found. Oh, the storm, it owns the sky. No sun to chase, no reason why.
All right. So now you get the idea. I don't need to go much further because now you know how to write lyrics on your own, how to generate all the lyrics, and how to change the style to get whatever feel you want. And you also know how to go to philc.net and download, well, just copy any of these you want and put them in the prompt. And there you have a totally different feel. You don't even need to do much thinking. Now, as you evolve, right, as a user, you can take it up a notch and you can do something like this. You can invoke your ChatGPT and you can say, I want to create a song with trap vibes and fast mumble lyrics. Give me a prompt for this genre in SUNO. Boom. So now you do not need to depend on my free prompts. You can create your own. So this says hard-hitting modern trap beat with fast-paced mumble rap vocals, heavy 808s, dark atmospheric synth, all that good stuff. So we're going to take that and I'm going to show you how you can get a totally different vibe, maybe something totally different from what I showed you in the very beginning. All right, here we go. So we go back in here and all we do is get rid of that style and put in your custom style. You're only allowed 200 characters, mind you, so it's kind of truncating what I'm doing here. All right. So I have put in the characters and I'm just going to leave everything as is. And I'm going to hit create. Oh, what happened? I'm out of credits. Well, this is why you don't want a free account. I'm down to 0. How unfortunate. But not to worry. I've got you covered. We're going to go into my pro account now. We're going to tune things up a little bit. And I'm going to hit create. We're going to use the same prompt that I generated just now. And then we are going into the lyrics as well. And I'm going to use the same lyrics that I got from here. Okay, let's go in here, put the lyrics in here. And here you have the ability to make it even weirder. You see these weird sliders, this weird slider? You can make it weirder and you get unexpected results. So there's experimental results, there's chaos mode, and you probably just want to be in the 50% at first. But I would say experiment every now and again, right? Especially if you've got the pro account. You've got like 1,000. I've got 1,000 credits left, but you get 2,000 plus every month, or thereabouts. So anyway, I'm going to crank this all the way up because I really want to get that trap vibe. And I'm just going to say trap vibe example. Now, notice what I'm going to do here. I am also going to add a new workspace because the more you do this, the easier it is for your songs to get all mixed up. So I'm going to call this Newbies Demo. Create the workspace, and we're ready to hit create. Hit create. And here's our song. Don't generate that. Uh-oh. What did it do? So this is a very good example of what not to do when you are prompting. You gotta police, you see. So what happened here, this is a very good example. It said, think Playboy and all of these other names. You do not want this. That is actually very risky. So when you're prompting in SUNO, you gotta make sure that it does not contain any artist name. So I'm gonna tell GPT, that is not cool. Do not prompt with any artist's name. Not allowed. Not allowed. You're absolutely right. Thanks for pointing that out. SUNO's content policy does not allow referencing specific artists in prompts. And I should have kept that in mind. Let's fix that. All right, so now it's giving me a revision. Good, because you don't want to get a strike. Now, SUNOs, they're quite lenient. They don't hit you first of all, but I'm sure that if such behavior persists, you could get a strike, or you could get a removal, on top of that. So anyway, let's hit create. And I'm glad that happened, because that shows you the extent to which SUNO is going to make sure that popular artist names, or even if not popular, the moment you say in the style of and you mention a name, you're going to get one of those, just like you saw happen. All right, let's hit create. And there are ways for you to get the same feel you're looking for. You do not need to mention the artist's name in there. So great example, great lesson learned for the newbies. All right, let's check out this first one. Let's crank up the volume.
Clouds wear gray like an old worn coat. Rain taps the glass like it's writing a note. Puddles spread wide like they're claiming the ground. Silence screams loud, no joy to be found. Oh, the storm, it owns the sky. No sun to chase, no reason why. The wind, it howls, the trees, they cry. Oh, the storm, it owns the sky. Street lights flicker like they're losing hope. The world feels small, tied up with a rope. My shadow's gone, it ran from the gloom.
Now, I know trap is not many people's cup of tea, but what I'm trying to show you here is you can have the same lyrics and the entire mood can change just by the addition of a great style prompt. And to do that, I've shown you how you can customize in GPT. Very impressive. All right, let's listen to the second one.
Oh, the storm, it owns the sky.
Second one.
The clouds wear gray like an old worn coat. Rain taps the glass like it's writing a note. Puddles spread wide like they're claiming the ground. Silence screams loud, no joy to be found. Oh, the storm, it owns the sky. No sun to chase, no reason why. The wind, it howls, the trees, they cry. Oh, the storm, it owns the sky. Streetlights flicker like they're losing hope. The world feels small, tied up with a rope. My shadow's gone, it ran from the gloom. Left me alone in the shadowless room. Raindrops whisper secrets to the air. They fall so fast, they don't even care. Is it sadness or just the earth's song? I can't decide, but I'll hum along.
All right, so you can see SUNO is not a discriminator of styles. I know people just utterly detest trap, but that's not the point for today. The point is to show you that the lyrics, one thing, the style, another. And when you get a really good combination of lyrics and style, wow, you are going to get a result that you didn't even bargain for, like a really interesting one. The Jukebox Hour, thanks for chatting in. The Jukebox Hour says, I created a rap group, gross profits on my channel. That's interesting. Interesting. You see, I have a video coming out soon that talks about the democratization of music. And everyone should be free enough to try these tools, unless otherwise prohibited. You know what I mean? As long as you're bringing in your original ideas, you're not taking from anyone else's ideas, you're using everything and it's above board, go ahead and do whatever you want. Play with the tool. You know, whether you've got a free version or whether you've got a paid version. I do not begrudge anyone from trying this stuff out. Actually, I heard about this from a non-musician, and I paused for a second. I'm like, I probably should get into this thing to know what it's about instead of having that chip on my shoulder. Well, I've got so many years of working in a studio and programming beats on my own. I kind of left that by the door, and I've had a lot of fun just playing around with my music, bringing it in here, doing remixes and so on and so forth. All right, so with that said, my friends, we have covered quite a bit of stuff. We have talked about the following, right? I've introduced you into it. I've shown you how to prompt. The best way to prompt is naturally. That's why we call them, a natural language. You just speak a natural language to it and it understands. I've also shown you that the free plan, it runs out of credits pretty quick. And then writing effective lyrics. I've shown you how you can craft your own lyrics. I've shown you how to get the prompts from philc.net. Descriptive phrases, like all of these. I made these available for newbies. So all you need to do is go to philc.net. Actually, let me put this directly into the chat for the sake of those who didn't get it. All right. So the next thing I'm going to show you, now you understand how to create a song in SUNO. I'm going to bring up my paid account. I'm going to show you with this right here, I can also create a video. And the way to do that is I would click on these three dots and I would go to download and I would click on generate video. So right here in SUNO, you can create your own video. That's right, your own video. And it's very easy for you to take that stuff and put it on YouTube. Very, very simply. See? So now that we've got this song and I've asked for it to download a video, I'm going to go in here and check, because I did hit generate video. So when the video is ready, I should be able to go in there and I should see that available for, oh, there it is. So I'm going to go in here and click on video. It's going to download it. I'm going to open it up. It's going to open up in my preferred tool. That's my video.
The clouds work right like an old over cold. Rain taps the glass like it's writing a note.
Now, this is not a bad way of creating video for newbie. Come on now. In the last 5-10 minutes, we created a song, and in the blink of an eye, we got a video. Now, that's not bad, but we can take it up a notch, right? I'm going to show you how we can take it up a notch. And the way to take it up a notch is to take these lyrics, copy the lyrics, jump into ChatGPT, okay? Stay with me because I know some people could get lost. The lyrics that we got from the tool, we're going to go into GPT, and I'm going to say, give me a solid 10-second prompt for a video showcasing these lyrics for an AI video tool. I'm going to put all the lyrics in, and it's going to give me an output that suggests a 10-second video. And it says a dark, stormy cityscape. Gray clouds hang low like heavy coats. Rain taps on windows. A lone figure stands in a shadowless room. Now I'm going to take this. I'm going to do a couple of things. I'm going to go into this tool over here, which is called Midjourney. I don't know if you've ever heard of Midjourney, but Midjourney is a paid tool. It's not free. You can see this video. I made this video in Midjourney. So I'm going to do a couple of things. I am going to prompt this tool to give me an image to begin with. And I'm going to see what it comes up with. Okay, this is just one of the tools that you can use for this. And then on top of this, there's another tool which could also be used for something similar, and it's called Sora. This is under the Open AI umbrella. So if you type in sora.chatgpt.com, put in your prompt, hit enter, it is immediately going to begin cooking. And you can see these are images that I have generated using the tool for this very broadcast that you're watching. See? So this is how to build your own AI song generator. I was teaching this in our membership only section. So I just created this image for it, these images for it. So if you're in our membership section, you can learn how to build your own AI song generator. But that's a different topic. So right now, I have two things going on. One is Sora. Sora is prompting this to give me an image. And then Midjourney here is also prompting an image. So we've got a couple of images. In Midjourney, it actually gives you 4 choices. So I like this one. I like that one. So I'm going to drag this into the prompt, and I'm going to make it a video, and I'm just going to put in the same text, right? But I'm going to ask it to create a video. This is going to generate a video for me. I'm going to click on that, and you can see it's cooking right there. I could also do the same with Sora. Sora is taking a little bit longer. You can see it's cooking, it's trying its best. All right, so it didn't do too badly. It looks very, very similar. So let me click on that. Now that I can see the image it's generated, I'm going to right click and hit copy image. And then I am going to prompt it again to redo this. So I'm going to click on what it did, double click again and select video instead of image. I'm going to choose 720p. I can only choose 5 seconds if it's 720p. If it's 480, which is lower fidelity, then you could do 10 seconds. But I'm going to choose the higher one of 5 seconds. It's going to give me 2 variations. I'm going to hit generate video. So what it's going to do now is create a video, and you're going to be able to see how long you have to wait on the top right. And let's go back to Midjourney. Midjourney, it shows that it's rendered all 4 of them. So let's see what it's done. Did it really do? It didn't really do what I wanted. I might have prompted it wrong. I think I prompted it wrong. So let me do this again. Let me put in an image prompt. That's probably what I should have done. Image prompt. Let's see. Yes, I think I have done the wrong thing here. And it's been a while I have used this. But let's see. Let's try this again. Yeah, this isn't working as I remember it. Unfortunately, I might have to go back to the drawing board. So landscape, I think all it did is it took the same image and recreated it, but let's see what I can do here. I'm going to click on animate. I think that might give me what I'm looking for. So I've clicked on animate. We're going to come back and check on that, but let's go back to Sora while Midjourney sorts itself out. And here we have a video. We have a couple of videos we can use. So if you get a video such as this and you want to match it to the video, a couple of things you could do. You could download this video. And this is the video downloaded that's about to play. See that? And the next task will be to take that video and go to a tool, like if you have a Microsoft computer, you can bring up Clipchamp. Clipchamp is free for most people that have a Microsoft computer. You can use Clipchamp. I'm going to bring up Clipchamp here. I'm going to show you how you can match both the video and the audio. So, assuming you bring up Clipchamp, you hit create a new video on the top over here. And you're going to drag in two ingredients. You're going to drag in whichever song you want, and you're going to drag in the video that we just downloaded. So let me drag in the video that we just downloaded first of all. Drop it in there and hit the green plus sign, and that adds it to the timeline. You can also choose the size that you want. So let's say I want 16:9. You can use a 16:9. And depending on how long the song is, all you're going to do is right click and duplicate. Hold down the shift key, select both, and duplicate again. Click on the magnifying glass to make it smaller. Select them all again. And you just keep duplicating. And all it's going to do is it's going to just keep on elongating the timeline till you get to the 3-minute song or what have you. Okay. If you wanted to make it more aesthetically pleasing, you could expand it so that you take away the unsightly twirly logo at the bottom. And then you can centralize it like that. The next thing you need to do is go into SUNO and then download a WAV file is probably better, but for the sake of this illustration, I'll just do MP3. Now that your MP3 is downloaded, you also want to drag that into the Clipchamp timeline. I know some of you already do this stuff, so you know what I'm talking about. But this is for newbies, right? So I don't want to be presumptuous and feel you know how to do this. But anyway, now that you've got all this stuff in here, you want to go back to the beginning and just click plus next to the image, or next to the audio. And to finish this off, just duplicate another set of them like that. Do that. And the next stage, after you've ensured that everything is exactly as you want it, because remember, these other ones, I didn't drag all these other ones to the end. If you are looking to do something consistent, then you would have to go back to ground zero and duplicate and just do Control D, like real quick. And that's going to fill up everything super fast, right? When you're done with that, go to export. I think we got it all, did we? Anyway, you get the drill. It seems like I might have missed the one I was aiming for, which was that. Oh, that was the one I was aiming for. Let's do that again. All right, now it should behave itself. All right, so everything is all aligned. Clip the end, export, 720p, and you can just give it a title and just call it Rainy Day. And Clipchamp is going to spend roughly 40 seconds rendering this. And, you know, it's just going to loop. Now, the reason why I wanted you to be aware of Midjourney, which unfortunately was a little bit of a fail at first, is because Midjourney does a really good job looping. Now, I haven't got my game on today. I cannot remember how to get the initial prompt up here. But just using the animate button, you can see that Midjourney didn't do a bad job. You see, it's animated the guys wandering around, turning around in the rain. And, you know, this could just be a loop. You could just loop this forever in your video. Now, going back to create, you can see you've got many options. So you can download all of these 4 options. You can daisy chain them together. using Clipchamp, but Clipchamp seems to have rendered our first rainy day video. So let's just click on open file, and it's going to open in my default. This is my default over here, and it should now have a combination of audio and video. Let me move Clipchamp away from here, and let me expand this so you can see it. Let's turn on the volume.
The clouds wear gray like an old orange coat. Rain taps the glass like it's writing a note.
So that's it. You get the idea. You could do anything you can imagine. Midjourney is a really great tool. I have used it extensively. I just started using the video capabilities of late, but you would treat this the same way. You know, you would just click on that. You would download whatever you've generated, as you can see me doing there. And then you'd go back into Clipchamp. You could get rid of all of this. And the video that I just downloaded from Midjourney, I'm going to drop that in there. I'm going to put that on the platform. And then I could either choose to make this a square, or I could choose to just expand it like that. And again, Control D will just duplicate what you've done. And all you do is export it again and just change the name to Rainy Day 2. And it'll take another 40 to 50 seconds, and that poor guy's gonna be twirling around in the rain for forever. So at this point, I want to answer any questions that you might have, because over the past number of minutes, I've just been showing you how to create songs and how to create your video so that you can take that, put that on your social media if you have a Pro SUNO account. If you don't have a Pro SUNO account, cannot use it commercially. Now, if your channel is not monetized and you're using it not to make money, you still got to give SUNO the attribution that you created it in there. At least that's what they say in their terms, right? They'll be happy if you could say, I created this in SUNO. But if you got a paid account, you don't have to. All right, so that's done. Let's go ahead and bring up what just rendered so that you can see how it looks. And having a human in the image always looks, in the video, always looks better. Or usually looks better.
The clouds wear gray like an old orange coat. Rain taps the glass like it's writing a note. Puddles spread wide like they're claiming the ground. Silence screams loud, no joy to be found.
All right, so there you have it. I've shown you how to create songs, how to create videos for your song. And if there are any questions at this point, I'd like to answer those questions for you. Any question about SUNO, Sora, Midjourney, any of those tools? Let's see some chats. Let's see the chats. Jukebox Hour says, I bought an economics book from Goodwill and turned my notes into lyrics. That is wild. That is absolutely wild. Me and my father, created some songs using some of his personal notes. That's wild. Wow. The time spent with him and memories made are priceless. Thank you, Jukebox Al, for sharing that. Ironically, I did talk about the jukebox in my video coming out very soon. Very few people know what a jukebox is these days. But I appreciate you sharing that story, because a lot of people get it wrong, thinking that AI tools are the devil, but they forget that AI tools do awesome things like converting like mere notes to memories, just like you and your dad did. People forget that AI music has helped a lot of dementia patients, people who are depressed, being able to have a new lease on life because of Suno, and they're not even looking to release those songs. They just want to go in there, have a good time, have a blast, and just amuse themselves and others. So it's very myopic when people just look at the dark side. I know there's a dark side of AI music tools, like copying Drake's voice or trying to impersonate other artists, and that's not acceptable. But if what you're doing is above board and you're just having good old fun with it and making memories and having a blast, then by all means, don't let anyone stop you, because I have what I call the AI police, and they're always trying to make you feel bad for using AI to create and to enjoy yourself. And as long as what you're doing is ethically bound, it's bound by the law, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? So I encourage those of you who are keen on doing this to go ahead and have fun. I wasn't really into this stuff like 3-4 months ago. It wasn't until I saw a non-musician saying, "Oh, I created this song and listen to it." Actually, my daughter was the first person who I heard, not Suno, I can't remember what tool she used, but she showed me a song, and for the first few days and weeks, I was actually dazed. I actually felt, in a way, somewhat robbed by the system, because I'm like, here I am preaching to her to practice her scales and her chords, and while she's very gifted, she hasn't done that in a while, and here she comes with a song. So it took me some time to really simmer down and think about what it meant. First of all, you cannot force your viewpoint on people. You got to practice music. You got to play live. You're a robber if you're not doing that. You don't do that. You shouldn't. So when I came to my senses, I realized, like with everything, just like with those tools that you've got on your phone that you can use to create art for your social media, it's no different. It's no different. You don't even need the Photoshops of this world. And don't get me wrong, I studied Photoshop back in the day, Dreamweaver, Flash, all that stuff. I did courses in that. And it was very helpful. But now we don't even have Flash anymore. It's gone away because of the security issues. Now we have Canva. So we have a new tool, Suno, and no one is policing you for royalties anymore. Like, back in the day, you would have to pay so much money to get royalty-free music, except you were a musician and then you knew, okay, I can create a track for my video. But now, it's been democratized. Anyone can go into these tools like the one I'm showing you right here. Anyone can go in here, create a video, create audio to go with it in Suno, and have a good old party. All right, my friends, so let's go back to the last pieces that I have for you, because I did have a bit of a long curriculum that I wanted to go over today, and I think we've covered a lot of it. So let's go to Module 3. So generating your first song, I've shown you how to do that. There's also a way to regenerate or remix your outputs. So if you go into Suno, again, this same song, excuse me, I feel a cough coming on. I've been talking for a while.
Clouds wear gray like an old worn coat. Rain taps the glass like it's writing a note. Puddles spread wide like they're claiming the ground. Silence screams loud, no joy to be found. Oh, the storm, it owns the sky. No sun to chase, no reason why.
All right, excuse me there. Just had to let out a cough. So I'm going to show you how to remix this stuff, right? Let me make myself smaller so you can see what's going on the screen. All right, and if you haven't watched my video on how to create a 24/7 radio station on this channel, you might want to check it out, and do me a favor, smash that like button while you're at it and subscribe so that you can be aware of the next time I'm online. But let's click these 3 things over here and let's go to Remix. So we have Remix. You can make a cover of this same song. let's just hit cover. It's going to bring up that track. You do not need to use the same lyrics. I could put in new lyrics and I can say, it's so much fun jamming in SUNO. So much fun creating new vibes. The feeling is real. Drive is great. New hot 808s vibing on my plate. I'm not copying this from anywhere. It's just a rhyme to get this going. All right, we're going to use the same style. We're going to hit remix, and it's going to come up with a new song based on my wacky rhyme that I put in. Same vibe though, but a different song. Let's check it out. All right, that was funny. Let's check this one out.
So much fun.
Typical mumble rap stuff.
So much fun. The feeling is real. The drive is great. New heart 808s. Don't man on my plate.
All right. Boom. And that's how you do your remix in SUNO. You can make so many variations with this same feel and same flow. All right. Soulflow Studio says, is Clipchamp free? Yes, it did come free with all of my Microsoft computers, like my new laptops. And I believe you can download Clipchamp. Let's see, Clipchamp download. Let me see if I can put this in there for you. Okay, clipchamp.com. Believe that's where you go. Let's put that in the chat. And you can try it out. Just see if you're able to download it and install it. I think you should be able to, because I'm quite sure it's free. Yeah, Clipchamp, it's a really great tool. You know, I've used all of the other tools like the Vegases, the Adobe Premiere, and this other one by Apple from way back in the day. I used to use all that stuff. You know, to be quite honest, all I need is a timeline. I need a video, I need my audio, I just need to be able to cut, move things around, put a few little effects in there. So I should have covered this as well. In Clipchamp, you can also create transitions. So for example, if you hover between two of these, you can create a transition of it moving from here to here. And then under transitions, you've got, you know, the regular suspects. You could do a hard wipe right. That would look something like this. It doesn't really look as dramatic because it's the same video it's transitioning to. Or you could do a circular wipe. But you really don't see the impact, except, let me change the media. So let's use this other one. And now you see, you can see that it's a little bit more dramatic there. See that? Let's actually take these down. So you got all these controls on the right as well. that you can use to adjust volume. You can actually just mute everything so there's no volume. And there you have it. Really nice transition. So it is a free tool, you know. I've used it for a while and it's not disappointed me. I've not had to go back to any of my paid software that I still own. I just find Clipchamp so easy. The other cool thing is because it's from Microsoft, you could save your files on the Microsoft Drive, and you can always go back and access it from different laptops. All right, what else do we have here? So I've taught you how to regenerate or remix. Also here in SUNO, you have the ability to remix/edit, which is not only cover, but you can extend. You can extend a song and all this other fun stuff here. Something that is a little bit more advanced is getting the stems. And getting the stems is just going to separate all of the tracks into individual instruments. You can then download those and you can actually do something new with them, either in your digital audio workstation, which is getting a little bit advanced, but I've got videos on that, which I won't go into tonight. Or you could take them into another AI tool and you could create byproducts with those stems. Let me just show you how that works. If you click on Get Stems, it comes to this page, and you can either click on all detected stems or vocals and instrumental alone. I'm going to go with all detected stems, and it's gonna separate the song into vocals, drums, keys, whatever you have going on in the song, and you can download all of them at once, or you could choose to download them singly. Okay, so I know for newbies, this is getting into a little bit more in the intermediate zone, but you can always come back to this video when you've caught up with the basics and you can start experimenting with this. So let me show you how this works. This is the lead vocal. You can see the waveform, right? Where the waveform appears, you can listen to whatever you have there. So I'm going to hit S for solo. I'm just going to play it. Just the vocal.
Coming on my plate.
Okay, I'm going to turn down the volume a little bit just so that it doesn't aggravate you guys. Okay, so that's a lead vocal. This is a backing vocal. Drums. The bass. Synth. And other. There's really nothing here in other. Just some kind of echoey sound. And you can also mute. So M is for mute. So if I gave these to a DJ, they'd know what to do with it. They could create an even sicker mix. Just downloading each one of these stems, doing whatever you want with the stems. Okay, so you just hit download all, and it takes its time, but it will download everything into a zip file, and all you need to do is unzip it, and you have each of the individual stems. Or if you wanted to download them piecemeal, you could do that here as well. Okay. All right, let's go back to our curriculum and see what we have left to cover. Oh, I think you just downloaded all of them. Okay. So, extending tracks using the continuation feature to build longer songs. I've shown you how you can get to that. Adding your own voice, how to integrate your own vocals, importing stems. So I'm not going to go into all this DAW stuff because that's for a totally different day. But what I am going to show you is how to use a vocal prompt. To use a vocal prompt, it's taking things up a notch, right? So let me get rid of all of this. And I'll show you how to make a vocal prompt. The way to use a vocal prompt is just to hit audio and hit record, and away you go. The weather is crazy, I hate the way it feels. The weather is crazy, I hate the way it is. I'm just gonna stay indoors, I'm not gonna go outside. The weather is crazy, I hate the way it feels. Now, what SUNO is going to do is take that clip, it's going to distill it down to what key is the line of best fit, what words was he singing, and how can I make that into a song. And I'm going to leave all the heavy lifting to SUNO. I'm going to hit continue. And there's my funny song. The weather is crazy, I hate the way it feels. So I want something, again, going back in time, 1940s, 1950s, big band, soaring, trumpet, lead, sax, solo, baritone, that is, piano, bass, drums. One of my subscribers says I should always say punchy drums, brushes for verse. And I'm just going to take this and I'm going to create a chorus out of these same wacky lyrics. I'm going to do another verse, another chorus, and a bridge. Stay away, miserable weather. Now, what you can learn from my approach when I write songs, I use a very minimalist approach with the lyrics, because usually the music that I put together is complex enough to sustain a song. So you can use a lot of repeat lyrics. You don't have to write like tons and tons of pages. Besides, people like simple. So, keep it simple. That's my mantra. I'm going to come over here. And then I'm going to select a male vocal gender. And then I'm also going to give some male, baritone, crooner. And we're done. We're ready. So I'm just going to say crazy weather. That's the title of the song. Hit remix. And here we go. So you can ask, what exactly is it remixing? It's remixing my audio. The weather is crazy. So what it's going to do, I pretty much was in a keyless, singing mode, but it's going to take that feel and do something similar. Let's listen.
I'm just gonna stay indoors. I'm not gonna go outside. The weather is crazy. I hate the way it feels. I'm just gonna stay indoors.
Suno's crazy, I'm telling you. I mean, such expression. I know people say, oh, soulless AI music. I mean, those folks are deceiving themselves because what evokes feeling is the familiarity of the tone, the nostalgia, the beat. There's so many things that go into it. So I just laugh when people say, well, AI music is soulless. It's sad. People are in denial. You see, because the way you feel about a song, it has nothing to do with you knowing it's AI or not. And everyone can relate to the weather being crazy, especially those of you who've lived in London. You know, the weather is psychotic. You know that. All right, let's listen to this one.
I'm just gonna stay indoors. I'm not gonna go outside. The weather is crazy. I hate the way it feels. I'm just gonna stay indoors. I'm not gonna go outside. The weather is crazy. I hate the way it feels. Stay away, miserable weather. Stay away, miserable weather. Stay away, miserable weather. Stay away, miserable.
Okay, so that was a little bit of a rough ending, and that happens sometimes in Suno. But now that I've shown you, I got my lyrics in there with a vocal prompt, I got the feel in there with a vocal prompt, I'm going to crank the audio influence up a little bit, and I'm going to tone down the style influence, and I'm going to say slow ballad jazz. I'm going to say female sultry voice. And we're going to change the voice from that raspy guy to a female voice. And we're going to say crazy weather, female. And let's use, see, I didn't really specify any. Let's say wah plug trumpet, mute trumpet, trombone. I want to hear some additional things. Let's get rid of that male mention and the trumpet. I don't want to confuse it with too many things, so let's get rid of these. And let's go ahead and see what it can do with this ballad style. Same lyrics. You see, you know, you got to play this long game with AI. When you are using a tool like Suno, you got to be ready to play the long game to get the best. Because like for me, sometimes I would do 10 iterations of a song and I just know that's not it, that's not it, that's not it. And then when I hear the song as I've imagined it, I know it. And you got to play that long game to get the best. Even if, you know, you don't know how to play an instrument. How many times have you seen Simon play an instrument? How many times have you seen him play a key? He probably couldn't even play a G sharp to save himself, but he's got good ears. You see what I'm saying? It's in the hearing and your ability to know that's what you're looking for. That's what makes great production. It's not necessarily the ability to jam on an instrument. Anyway, here we go. Now that's interesting because that's not really a ballad. But it's kicking.
I'm just gonna stay indoors. I'm not gonna go outside. The weather is crazy. I hate the way it feels.
Now that's really funny. That's really more calypso-ish, and I like it, although it's not really what I wanted it to do. Let's check this one out.
The weather is crazy, I hate the way it feels. The weather is crazy,
Now I like the voice.
the way it is. I'm just gonna stay indoors, I'm not gonna go outside. The weather is crazy, I hate the way it feels.
Now that's cooking. You know, it's funny because sometimes you don't know what you want until you hear it. And I like these two takes. I think they're good.
I'm just gonna stay indoors, I'm not gonna go outside.
Not exactly what I was looking for though. So let's try one more prompt. 'Cause I wanted something dinner jazz, like really slow, brushes, that vibe. And, you know, if I really was in it for the game I was looking for, I'm just going to sit and keep prompting the life out of this thing. There we go. Now we're talking. It's more like it. More like it. Yeah, more like this.
The weather is crazy, I hate the way it feels.
That's what I was looking for. You see what I'm talking about? Let's check this one out. A little bit too fast, but nice.
The weather is crazy.
The voice is definitely what I wanted. Definitely what I wanted. So I hope that gave you some further perspectives. All right. So we've talked about a lot today. So you've seen me using my own voice as the prompt. But if I wanted to integrate my own voice, what I would have to do is, I might as well show you since we've gone quite far. So let me show you just the concept, right? The concept is to download your stems, to take these stems and put them into a digital audio workstation, and to take out the lead voice and to replace it with yours. That's the best way to do it. Now, SUNO Studio is on the way. They're about to launch SUNO Studio, which will allow you to do all sorts of great stuff. But before that, you can see over here on the screen, I have what we call a DAW, a digital audio workstation. I'm going to hit new and create a new platform. And there's so many of them. This is Mixcraft. You've got Logic. You've got, you got so many of them without sending you all over the place. Ableton, there's so many. But what I'm going to do next is open up what I downloaded, because I downloaded a zip file. I'm going to show you what that looks like right now. So when you download your zip file, it's going to look something like this. Move this to the platform. Okay, so you can see over here, I'm going to double click, and inside here we have files, backing vocals, bass, drums, FX, and all that. So I'm going to unzip this, right? I'm going to unzip it, and then after I've unzipped it, it's going to appear in a separate folder. So let me do that. Okay, so let me do that again. So here you can see extract all. You want to say extract all. And after you have extracted all, you are going to see a folder with all the contents that looks something. Let me get it. Rap vibe. It's like looking for a needle in a haystack. All right. So I have a folder with all of this stuff now in. So what I'm going to do is select all of these, drag it in, drag it onto the platform, and it's going to arrange all of these files for me in the DAW. And what I can do is take out the back-end vocal, which is this, assuming I really wanted to do this. I would take out the back-end vocal. This is the back-end vocal. I'll take that out and I would replace it on if I was, going to do a vocal. So whatever I did would now sound on top of this when I record it. Check 1 2. So I just recorded check 1 2. So whatever vocal you put on top, you'll be able to move it around, integrate it however you will. You can do some really outrageous stuff with it. Trust me, when you bring it into the DAW, I mean, the world is now your oyster. You now have so many possibilities. You can do as you please. So that's what we call a DAW, digital audio workstation. But that's a totally different piece of software. But nonetheless, being that I'm kind of getting you into this world, it's probably good that you see how some of this stuff is. Okay. All right. Let's go to number 5. 6, I've shown you how to download MP3 and waves. Like we saw, don't try to copy any particular artist. Don't use things like in the style of Phil C or some other artists, right? Don't do that. Just prompt what you want to hear versus using a name, or you could get in trouble definitely in the future. Even though SUNO has safeguards, it's just a good practice to not do that. I encourage you not to. Take it to the next level, using SUNO for beat making. You can use it for jingles. You can write a jingle for, anything. Like back in the day, one of the things that I did was I was a jingle writer, and I used to make money from writing jingles. There are 2 ways you can write jingles. You could just write them in there like you would. Or, again, you can use the power of ChatGPT, and you can just say, write a jingle for AI Connect Radio saying, thanks for tuning in. You are the best. And here's your catchy jingle. Thanks for tuning in. You are the best. AI Connect Radio, above the rest. Music, vibes, and voice true. We're nothing without you. So I could take this, go back into my tool. You can actually make some money writing jingles using this. Oh dear. Let's put it in. And then as far as I'm going to say catchy radio jingle. Jazzy, heavy, 5-part harmony, vocal, catchy, short, sweet, nostalgic, complex, chordal arrangement. So for those of you who don't know what chords are, it's when you play 2 or more notes together, and we have different types of chords. And if you are truly keen on learning more about these chords, I want to invite you once again to go on down to my free site where I have training on this stuff. Now, I would be a very poor ambassador if I didn't tell you about this, because I know some of you do want to learn. So if you go to philc.net, phil with 2lc.net, let's go to home. I actually have a lot of tools for you to learn, not only scales in music, but as you scroll down, there are videos where I'm teaching different people. I'm teaching my nephew from scratch in this video. I'm teaching one of my buddies, this guy Connor, who appears with me in some videos on my other channel. I'm teaching them the basics of music. And here I also have an interactive tool where you can learn music. And I show you the notes. So let's say you wanted to play a D major scale. It shows you the notes in the D major scale, and you can practice to get your vocabulary and so on. And I also have flashcards. See, so when I'm typing in stuff like this, I'm not just putting in any old junk. It does mean something, and you can learn that, right? You can learn chords, you can learn the basics, and if you keep learning, you can get to advanced mode where you understand what complex chord arrangements are. But SUNO understands complex chord arrangements. So all I'm going to do at this point is get rid of my initial audio, because I want it to create something fresh, not based on my initial audio. I'm going to crank up style influence a little bit, and I'm going to hit create. And remember, this is a jingle. I should have renamed it, but in my little bit of a hurry there, I didn't. But you can always rename stuff. You know, you can just click on the 3 dots, song details, and you can just say whatever you want to call it. You can rename it. Just hit save. But you got to wait for some time because it doesn't do it immediately like this. I don't have song details right now. But once it's fully rendered, then song details appears and I can rename this. Let's go ahead and click crazy weather, even though we know it's a jingle, something different.
Thanks for tuning in, you are the best. I connect radio above the rest. Music, vibes, and voices true. We're nothing without you.
That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad. That's what the doctor ordered. Let's check this one out. Oh, it's just a 3-second jingle. That is ridiculous. Okay, jingle. So, jingle. I'm going to give it a little bit more because that wasn't bad, but I'm just going to say smooth jazz, modern, harmony, heavy vocal. Very minimal prompt, but let's see what it'll do this time. That was funny. That was just 3. That's the shortest SUNO track I've ever seen. Just 3 seconds. That's wild. All right. Now let's check this one out. That is wild. I got to arrest SUNO for doing that. That is just so sick. Terrible. That's wild.
Thanks for tuning in. You are the best. Hey, I connect radio above the rest. Music, vibes, and voices true.
That is ill. That is ill. Oh my goodness, SUNO. I don't know what they fed you, but you have issues. Good issues, good issues. You're probably going to hear one of these on AI Connect Radio because those are scorching. That's good output right there. And I didn't even bargain for it. I mean, normally I would put in an audio prompt with the chords and everything else to get something this level, but very minimal. Smooth jazz, modern harmony, heavy vocal, boom. So once you know how to manipulate the tool, you could get some pretty good output from it, without a doubt, without a doubt. Okay, let's see what else we've got here on the menu. I think we just did that. We talked about copyright, fair use, beat making, jingles, background music. Yep. So something else I've done of late, and I'll just show you an example without really running the example. But something I've done of late is I've taken my DGX670 keyboard, the beats, the rhythms, and I have fed them into SUNO, and I've gotten some pretty ridiculous output. Pretty ridiculous. Trust me when I tell you this. Let me play the raw uploaded track. Now, this is the raw uploaded track from my keyboard. It's just a very simple Yamaha keyboard, DGX670. I mean, it's decent, right? But look at the remix. Check this out.
Taking it up a level, it's a cool, chill day. Ain't gonna worry, now come what may. Chilling on my keyboard, sipping on my stuff. I'm too smart to care about nothing, so I ain't gonna stop. My don't cruise with the world on mute. Feeling like a boss in a three-piece suit. No stress, no mess, I just let it slide. Got peace in my pocket and time on my side.
I mean, that is just so sick in my mind. Here's another thing that I did with that same jam. I mean, you just feel the energy is very different from what I put in. Very different. Very different. Now check out this one. This was a reggae jam that I fed in. Not bad. Now this is what SUNO gave me in return. These are the lyrics.
keyboard, sipping on my stock. I'm too smart to care about nothing, so I ain't gonna stop. Mind on cruise with the world on mute. Feeling like a boss in a three-piece suit. No stress, no mess, I just let it slide. Got peace in my pocket and time on my side.
Isn't that wild? Just a very, very common track, common style from DGX. But check out the chorus. The chorus is my favorite.
Take it easy. Take it easy. Take it easy. Take it easy. I don't flex for the fame, I just grind and grow. A slow burn.
For those reggae lovers, I know you're loving this stuff. Smash that like button if you're still watching at this time. If you haven't already, I would appreciate that. Let's see what else we've got here. So this was a sequence that I created on the DGX 670, just a very simple trap sequence, but I did this from scratch without AI. It's building up slowly but surely. All of this was done from scratch. This wasn't the style that came with the keyboard. This is what I programmed in. So you get the idea. Now I fed it into SUNO. I don't think you're ready to hear what it did. It is some really wild stuff. Check this out. Isn't that wild? I know what you're waiting for. I know. I know what you're waiting for. It's coming. Uh-oh. It's coming. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. Isn't that wild? Wild, wild, wild stuff. All right, my friends, over the past number of minutes, we've been taking a look at SUNO from a layman's perspective. This isn't for the gurus. This is for the newbies, right? I have a capstone project for you. I want you to create and publish your very first full-length SUNO track with visuals, right? And then I want you to go to the @AI Music Law and I want you to find the post where I say, show me what you got, right? I want you to go in there and I want you to show me what you've been able to do with this lesson. Paste it in there and let everybody be able to see what exactly you did. Okay? I hope you've enjoyed this. SUNO 101. You're going to take this out by listening to this neo trap classical thing. Appreciate you guys. If you got any questions, drop them now so that I can take them. That's all I've got for tonight. I appreciate you joining. And as usual, anything that you have questions on, put them in the AI Music Law community, and I'll get you answers as quickly as possible. You take care, my friends. Au revoir. Have a lovely morning, evening, or night.